casual wrestling community show. You already know, talking WWE. Keep it
a state of the show. So last week I kind of toyed with the idea and hinted at doing a video that was a state of the show, like where we're at, what we're planning to do, kind of how I plan to move forward, like a roadmap of the content we plan to put out. And was going to do it as a standalone thing, but after thinking about it, I thought it'd be better just to open up the show this week and talk about it so that we can discuss it in the comments and kind of see how everybody feels about it. Now, as a content creator, you're torn between two different motivations. On one hand, you want to make a product that pleases your core audience. And on the other hand, you want to make a product that brings in a new audience. And for the last 5 or 6 months, we've been doing the same thing over and over, and we've developed a core audience. And I hate disrupting that because we've done overreactions, we've done news, we've done burning questions, 20 questions, and people have fell in love with different segments that we do. I hear good things about 20 questions, and I hear good things about overreactions or the burning question. But it all has become kind of comfort food, I think, to me. It's almost I've gotten lazy in being able to write the content. They're all great segments, but listeners, new listeners and YouTube listeners and viewers, they're not responding to that content necessarily. And this, I'm not doing this all to get new viewership, but that's got to be part of the deal, right? Part of the deal has to be running this essentially like a business. And a business has to function in a way that continues to move forward and doesn't get stagnant, right? The analytics that we get back from this show, now that we've been doing it for 6 months, they're my best friend and my worst nightmare. Because we have so much data on this show now, it's crazy, right? We have audience retention. We were looking at that the other day. We have click-through rates. We have impressions. And all of these fucking words that I sit and read and I research, they're all creativity killers. Because you focus on those things. So trying to find the balance on retention and impressions and things like that. But it does give you a brutal reality check of like things you're doing that are successful and things you're doing that are not successful. And there's a blatant pattern to this show. And that is after the overreactions, all you motherfuckers disappear. You leave. Most people aren't making it past my overreactions. And you see there's a drop off. I mean, it's heavy. It goes from like 60% retention. And these numbers, I know they're boring, but I got to talk about them. 60% retention to like 20% retention when we go into the news. And I get it, right? Because the news is the news. And typically because of TikTok and because of social media, and you guys are getting your news in multiple places, by the time it gets to Wednesday night when we record this show and post Thursday morning, the news we talk about is old news. So we're not breaking anything to you anyway. So I understand wanting to leave after that point of the show because there's not a lot of commentary I can give. But by the time I give comments on those news stories, people are going, oh, I already heard so-and-so say that. You heard so-and-so say that, so you're repeating that. And the problem is it's not that. It's just by the time I get there, I form my opinion that's probably the same as 10 other content creators, right? And so the news videos have a short shelf life on YouTube anyway. So for the amount of work and research it takes to do those, they don't last beyond that week. So what I'm getting to here is that we're going to start toying with some different formats to the show, right? And the first one I'm going to try doing 4 different topics every week. Not just overreactions, not a burning question, not 20 questions, just 4 different topics. 4 fun topics, wrestling topics, whatever it is we want to talk about, we'll talk about it. Some of it will be current and up to date, and every week we'll at least do one topic that refers to the Raw and SmackDown of that week. But outside of that, I'm thinking like we roll in the documentary show that we want to do. We'll still watch it together, but then we'll do a segment where we can discuss and kind of talk about the things. Because like we watched WWE Evil episode 1, and we got to talk about it on that show. But then afterwards, like there were thoughts I still had a day later that I would have liked to have come on this show and talk about.
Yeah.
And the current format that we had just didn't allow time. We were going an hour and 15 minutes, and I'd look back and I'd go, man, I didn't hit on a lot of things that I would have liked to have talked about. It was became more informational and less, this is kind of an op-ed. This is my opinion. This show is supposed to be me kind of bitching and complaining. So I still want, we set up the schedule for people to be able, and we've had a couple people inquire about coming on the show, and that's fucking awesome because this 4-segment situation works perfectly because we'll save that last segment for the show where somebody can either submit a question or they can come on and talk about whatever they want to talk about, and we'll talk about that with you. So the 4 segments are going to be good. And we're going to try it out for a few weeks and just see what happens. Still working on the CWC 2K universe. I've made a little bit some strides in that. I've got everybody's character who submitted it. I've downloaded it, and we've created a few characters of our own that we're adding to the universe that may irritate people or may make people laugh a lot. But like I said, every week we'll still break down Raw and SmackDown. We'll still do that. And then we'll just mix in other fun topics, some like stupid shit. We've got one topic tonight I'm fucking excited about, but it's so stupid, but it's going to be fun. And I think it's going to generate, it'll generate more attention than if I just talk about the news. So without further ado, let's get into topic number 2 tonight.
Step in the ring, if you ready, let's go. Hey, casual wrestling community show. You already know, talking WWE. Keep it rolling and hosted by Notorious Nerdy D. Dope show that you gon' find. Tune in cause it's online. Hit 'em with a figure 4 leg lock, power driver or clothesline. We bringing that heat like the show, but you should